Hi Ling family, I hope you're doing great. A little video today to share with you my experience because I've been restarted ranked matches online on PC. I was before on PS4. I've been reaching Vanquisher rank so far and I've been quite successful, as you can see here. 90% of win in ranked matches so far. So for those who still have a tough time before red ranks, this video might help you. It might also help you if you are slightly above red ranks, and it will be about whiff punishment because I've seen a lot of whiff. Let me show you some example of that. Okay, so this little video was not even close to be all of the whiffs that I've been punishing, and even further from the list of whiffs that I've seen, but I think it gives you a fair idea of what to expect at that rank. Regarding whiff punishment, we have mainly three things to see together, and I will start by the moves that you should use, which are mainly the ones that you have seen already. So the good moves of Ling for whiff punishment are 10 forward 2-1, you have 3, you have up forward 3+4, you have back 4-4, and then you have sidestep 3 and sidestep AOP up forward 3. Now if you want to use a sidestep before, it can be even better, but I will explain you why you should be careful with sidestep 3 and why you should prefer actually AOP up forward 3. Back 4-4 as well is quite dangerous, so when we talk about tool to whiff punish, it has to be fast. Ideally it has to be a mid, so 3 is not a mid, but it's pretty fast and it's kind of safe. If we have a look at 3, well, 3 is -11, so in most of the case you will not be punished badly if you use it and your opponent blocks it. He cannot punish it badly. However, down for 2-1 is -13, so you have to be more careful about this one, even though it's a small risk compared to the reward you would get, and compared to the fact that you're not really taking a risk, are you? You know that your opponent is whiffing, you're just punishing it. It's kind of safe if you do it properly. Sidestep 3 is highly punishable if you're wrong about the timing, so sometimes, in some rare cases, your opponent will use strings or attacks that are high, or strings that are mid-high. If we take one example, it's not a very good example for Ling. Let's do that. Ling has forward 2-1. Which is a mid-high string, which covers quite a good distance, but people do not use it at mid-range. Generally speaking, it's a poke that people will use at shorter range, or they will use it in juggle. But anyway, any mid-high string that your opponent is using, you cannot finish the mid, but you can finish the high. it's a punish, but if you're a bit late, it's not a punish anymore, which means that your opponent could have blocked it. AOP up forward 3 is way better in that case. Reach your opponent, but the fact is that it's far less punishable than sidestep 3, especially because there is a follow-up. So your opponent might not want to try you with that. Now, one move that is very good regarding Ling with punishment is up forward 3+4 because it covers a long distance. It's not punishable if you missed it. If your opponent blocked it, you cannot be punished for that. And on top of that, you have this very long active frame. The active frame is very important because sometimes you do not exactly know at which moment you will reach your opponent because he's moving toward you. So this active frame is very good for two things, for this one and for the fact that sometimes your opponent is just mashing button. It's just, you know, doing strings, and in that case Ling's leg here are basically a shield. Worst case scenario, what you will get is a trade. However, if you do, for example, 3, which has not a lot of active frames, you might whiff and get punished after that. So it's not as good as up forward 3+4. Regarding up forward 3+4, 4-3 is almost guaranteed afterward, unless your opponent is doing one of these two. Yeah, quick recovery and back quick roll, which you almost never see actually. We do not see our opponents do that when we do up forward 4-3, 3+4. We do not see them using it a lot, neither the second one actually. It almost never happens. So you can consider that 4-3, whatever the opponent is doing, will work, will connect most of the case. And if it doesn't, it's not a big deal anyway. So yeah, it's quite a good tool, quite a lot of damages, a lot of active frames, huge distance, safe, does wall splat if your opponent is back to wall. It starts to be a lot of good properties, and that move has one issue mainly. I will show you that. It's easily steppable, both right or left. So this is the problem of that move. But if your opponent is pressing button and you want to whiff punish him, the only thing that might happen is a block. He will not be stepping straight after he was mashing buttons. It never happens. So this is really the good way of using that move. You're almost sure that your opponent is not going to step. You're safe if you were wrong for your timing. You cover a huge distance. You have this kind of shield with all her legs that are just going on to the opponent for quite a long time. It's a very good tool regarding whiff punishment. Now, generally speaking, down forward 2-1 is amazing as well. Huge range. You get a full juggle. You can reach the wall after that and mix up your opponent. It's pretty good. So these are the main tools that you can use to whiff punish your opponent. And I can't stress it enough. Up forward 3+4 is highly underused in my opinion. Now let's go for the next part, which is the distance that you should use to create whiffs and how basically to proceed. So we already saw the good moves. Now the distance, there is another point that is even more important, but I will come to that just afterward. Regarding the distance, if you're not experienced already in whiff punishment, what you might want to try at first is to be more or less at 3 steps from your opponent. Even attacks that have a good range at that distance might whiff, and then it allows you to punish it. Regarding the distance, it will of course be different for every character. If you are playing against Brian, I would say that yes, 3 steps is kind of good. If it's King or Armor King, it might not be enough. I think it's up forward 1+2 that he has, I don't remember the input. But anyway, he has jumps that are covering quite a good distance, so you might even want to be further than that. If it's Noctis, well, you basically don't know. You need to be super far, or basically you can whiff punish it properly. Anyway, so you will learn that with experience by practicing, but playing online, trying to keep always that distance between you and your opponent, and when a whiff occurs, you know what to do now. You know the good tools. This being said, I've been talking about back 4-4. Back 4-4, I am mainly using it as a whiff punishment when I'm so late in frames. I'm so negative in frames that I cannot backdash, because my opponent, I know it's his turn. He might get me with move like that while I'm backdashing. Let's say. Here you go. She got me. So you're so negative in frame that you know it's your opponent's turn. You will not try a quick move or even AOP. You will just go backward, and then your opponent is doing, for example, a jab, and you were far enough to avoid the jab. Back 4-4 is very handy because back 4-4 is very fast, and you only need to press 4. You're already going back. You don't want to backdash at that very specific moment, so you're already going down, back. Sorry. Your opponent is pressing button, boom, immediately back 4-4. It's very useful but risky. Your opponent can, if he blocks it, he can duck the second 4. He can lunge punish you or even on block. Now I don't remember exactly how many frames it has, but it's quite a lot. Let's try. Okay, not this one. Maybe. Oh, so it's not that bad on block. But anyway, they should not block it. They should duck it. So yes, back 4-4 can be useful. Now, once you get your distance cleared and you are more or less at that distance with your opponent, you're just waiting for him to do a whiff. When you will be moving backward, you will move with him forward. When you will be moving forward, you try to create distance again. And when you're just staying at the good range, you should not keep on backdashing. And that's the most important point. Once you reach the proper distance, you should be looking for the whiff. You should be ready for that. And immediately, when it occurs, do something. Whiff punish it. It has a high crush property, for those who didn't know, by the way. Down forward 2-1, I'm talking about. So that's very important, that you should be ready in your mind to whiff punish it when it will happen. That's very the most important part, because I see a lot of players, when they just go away, they just keep on, you know, going away and away and away, but it won't help you to whiff punish if you're here. Like, there is basically not a single move that Ling can do from here that you can whiff punish, except maybe while running 3, and that's it. And that's also a very important part. I will talk about that just after. So once you get your proper distance, you will try basically to step, and then you are adding to the distance, you're adding another property which might make your opponent whiff, which is the movement, left or right. So depending your opponent, for example Ling, I would go to the left. I know you can sidewalk while running 3 to the right, but it has a bit of tracking to the right, not to the left. So I would do a step to the left. If it was Lee, for example, you sidewalk to the left. If it is, I don't know, Huarang, you're a bit more free. Well, it depends what it does actually. If it's King, for example, you don't even try. You just try to create more distance. The same for Noctis. So it really depends who you have. If you have an opponent that has a mid tracking like low, you might want to go in AOP. Actually, I'm not sure if it's a high or mid. I think it's a mid. You cannot duck it. I think you need to go in AOP. Claudio, you can duck it, I think, but again, AOP. So when you see your opponent coming, AOP. that's a very important point. Once you reach the good distance, you go to the right, you go to the left. You do not have to think about a lot of moves. At that distance, your opponent will have 1, 2, maybe 3 moves that can reach you. So these are the moves that you want to sidewalk. If you don't know yet how to sidewalk these moves, well, you will just hit it at first, and you will try the other side. And if it doesn't work neither, then you can just try AOP. If it doesn't work neither, then you know you should be a bit further and try to whiff punish it properly without side walking or side stepping. And this is basically the good way, in my opinion, to start learning how to sidestep or sidewalk your opponent. And there have been a video of Lune Lily not a long time ago about that, you can check it out as well. But the idea is that when you are far from your opponent, there is not a lot of moves that you should care about to sidestep or sidewalk. So first thing you should know is how to sidestep or sidewalk specific character at that range, then a bit closer, and then at close range, because here you will have a ton of moves that you should study, that you should have a look at. So it's quite complicated to know for any character what you can do at close range. At mid range it's a bit easier. At far range it's far easier. It's super easy actually. Okay, I think it's all for today. It's more or less what I wanted to discuss with you. I hope it will help you. If you have any question, you can still ask in the comment section. I will be happy to answer you. But really think about it. If you're blocked under red ranks, you might want to whiff punish your opponents.